I understand why. It's grotesque and horrific, and it moves us as Americans. But while we're sitting here and we're talking about other things, Muslims are being killed. They're standing up to ISIS. They're being killed. And we see what happened with Pakistan was such a way.
Well, yeah, I mean, 140 school kids, blown up by other Muslims. I mean, that's exactly, and just watching Malala speak about it yesterday just broke my heart,
To me, the guys in the Taliban and these murderers are not Muslims. They're monsters. But they are, but I can't deny that they identify as Muslims, and they believe they're Muslims. Now, they didn't invoke any Islamic principles for doing the attack. It was an eye for an eye. Like, they had killed, the military of Pakistan had killed some of their people, and they were going to come back and horrifically kill children in the school that I guess apparently military people, families had their kids in.
Yeah.
So that's so much of what the fighting is. And sometimes in American media, we cover it as there's a Muslim, and this is why he did it. It's more of the sense of you've killed our people, someone in my family, or someone I'm connected to, or you've just killed Muslims, and now it's revenge time. And it's not like, let's turn to page 12 of the Quran, and this is why we're going to do it. It's not that. It's much more visceral, tribal almost, to be honest with you.
You quote John McCain. You say, as John McCain powerfully stated on the Senate floor, the question isn't about our enemies, it's about us. It's about who we are, who we aspire to be. It's how we represent ourselves to the world. I think that goes right too. And you say that means we need to do more than just release the information about torture to the public. We must investigate, and if violations of the law, criminally prosecute those who engaged in, ordered, or this misconduct. And by the way, you bring up Abu Ghraib. If it's not torture, why did we, try and imprison the soldiers from the Abu Ghraib scandal, right?
Moral people, it's like there's a lot of martyrs out there, and we just got to keep on fighting. All of this is a sign that you're not allowed to give up, no matter how dreary it is, because the politicians aren't going to make America better. The people have got to do it.
You know what kind of people? Gene in Minneapolis. Hello, Gene in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm trying to encourage every liberal out there, every progressive, John, to contribute to Free Speech TV as I just did.
Yay!
Yay! I'm going to get on Twitter today and encourage people to donate to Free Speech TV, because I really feel like it's the last bastion of hope for all of us.
Yes, it is.
What's really going on.
Yes, it is. And it is the season of giving, Gene. We thank you so much for your tax-deductible donation to keep fine shows like ours and Tom Hartman and Bill Press, etc. on the air, right?
Thank you for what you're doing, all of you, but especially you, Steph. I've heard people call in and say that you help them keep their spirits up during elections, and it certainly was true for me during the presidential election. And now that I feel just completely despondent about the omnibus bill, I'm looking to you to keep my spirits up still.
And quite honestly, we're a little bit behind in our fundraising goals this
we are.
this pledge drive.
Right.
So we urge you to get on it, donate to Free Speech TV. It's a tax-deductible donation, and it helps to keep corporate-free media on the air.
Yeah, and we know it's the holidays and people are pressing, so we really, really appreciate your gift. Thank you so much, Gene.
This is a present to give to people.
Yes. Give it as a gift.
There you go.
Give it as a gift.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Freespeech.org. And you can see all of the stuff that we have for different premium levels.
Yeah, look, I have a fleece Stephanie Miller Show fleece jacket behind me. We've got the Stephanie Miller Show whore bags. $1,000 lunch with Mama and the Mooks.
And they said they're breaking out the scarf. You can get the scarf separately for a certain amount donation too. The big long scarf with the pockets.
Yeah, freespeech.org.
Yes.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Stephanie Miller Show.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, it's time to feel good. Hey, all right now, it's time to feel good.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. Jackie Shetner at the bottom of the hour. Comedian Jason Stewart live in hour number 3 in studio with us. 1-800-STEPH12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. And it's a special treat. Why, looky.
Speaking of funny and smart, I want to bring on Tina Dupuis. Tina Dupuis is brilliant. She's funny. She's a terrific writer.
Tina does everything, and I just love her already.
This is the last time we're going to talk to you before we see you in studio.
Squee.
Is that true?
It is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I know, right?
Tina Dupuis is going to be in Los Angeles the first week of Okay. All right, in January. Okay.
That's right.
And to be on the Happy Hour podcast as well.
That's
where
right.
we have a thimbleful of wine waiting for you to get you snookered.
You better mix that with something.
Yeah, cut it with something.
We'll make you a girly spritzer with club soda.
Sounds delightful.
Well, good morning. And wow, what a great piece. You just, We're a Nation of Laws was the title of your piece, as if we need to be reminded. And apparently we do. You say torture is illegal, period, end of debate. There is no legal, moral, or probable justification for torture. It's against the Bill of Rights. It's against the Geneva Convention. It's against the UN Convention Against Torture. Period. Full stop, right?
Pretty much. I mean, there's not this there are good parts of torture.
Right.
I mean, that was
the sunny side of torture.
Sure.
Right.
Yes, there was torture helped us because, and that was where Dick Cheney kind of had this kind of bizarre lapse where it's like, he said that it helped us find bin Laden. No, this is actually Brennan who said it. That the information, we stopped torturing people in 2007, allegedly, right?
Right.
But the information that we got from torturing people led us to find bin Laden 5 years later.
Right.
And you're like, there's what? So,
right.
And then it's the justification of basically losing our souls, right?
Right.
If you're talking about human rights, and for some reason now with Cuba,
yes,
suddenly Republicans who were all for torture last week are now all against human rights violations in Cuba.
Yeah, they're horrified. They're shocked. Yeah,
I know. They're like, no, we can't talk to you. We cannot negotiate with these people. We cannot talk to these people because of their human rights violation. And I'm like, get Mo.
Yeah. I mean, you quote President Reagan.
On the island with them.
Yeah. Pardon me while I cough up a lung. President Reagan wrote into the Senate, you write, in 1988, urging the ratification of the UN Convention, saying it will demonstrate unequivocally our desire to bring an end to the abhorrent practice of torture. It does not matter what you bring up that Reagan said to the current Republican Party, right?
No, they want him to be a saint and a quiet one. If he becomes an actual human being, they disagree with everything that he did, including amnesty.
They don't like when zombie Reagan gets chatty.
They like him when he's a comma at debates.
Yes.
They don't like him as an actual human being who's studying.
I love how, strongly you say it. Torture is against every article, agreement, protocol, and treaty we currently depend on for civilization. A universe held as legal in every instance for every reason. Plus, it's wrong. All the free world views it as wrong. It was wrong when they did it to Jesus Christ. It was wrong when they did it to accused heretics. It was wrong when they did it to the guy's name that I can't pronounce. Zebediah. That guy. Yes.
Zubeda.
There's Zubeda. There
That's
you go.
it.
There you go. I start to say Zubidot because I don't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
But by the way, and you say if torture is so useful and necessary for keeping us safe, if we can't be safe without torture, why not use it on all accused criminals? You say why? Because it's wrong, it's repugnant, and furthermore, it doesn't work. I mean, that's been the biggest thing that has just made me insane, Tina, is whether it's Dick Cheney or anybody else, continue to just say, oh, it worked. Mm-hmm. When, the Senate report, obviously, the interrogators say the opposite is true.
There's no evidence that it's worked. It's just the only evidence that it's worked is that Republicans keep on repeating it. And they also said the same thing about there being WMDs. And there's a lot of other things that it just say it enough times, Benghazi, and then it turns into facts. Well, torture working it is not true. There is absolutely no evidence that it's ever worked. And has never worked.
But you raise an important point. You say there is no evidence save those falsified after the fact by war criminals that show torture works. I mean, the guy the interrogator that interrogated Khalid Sheikh Mohammed said, we got this information before we tortured him. So it's I don't know. This is a problem with the mainstream media as well. You know, the Dick Cheney can say, "Oh, the rectal feeding was medically indicated," and Chuck Todd doesn't just, say that is complete. Really? I mean,
well, here's the thing, Stephanie.
That is anal rape, right?
Dick Cheney can go on Meet the Press, but he can't go to Europe.
Yeah,
because he's a war criminal, and he can't travel abroad, but he can go all over the mainstream media and the Sunday shows. So who is and normally I find that the media does this kind of argument to be kind of thin at best, but in this case you're absolutely right, because we're allowing people who have violated international laws, also our Constitution, also just human decency, and we are allowing them to kind of make a case for why that's good,
right?
That's okay, which I find to be the most disturbing.
Well, you say that you boil it down here. You say the rationalization is this: we hate terrorists, we like the idea of them suffering, so we found a loophole where we can rectally hydrate them. Torturing alleged rapists is sadistic catharsis, full stop. And that is absolutely true. And to try to pretend anything else, that this was punitive to punish and humiliate, and again, the Dick Cheney has no compunction that 25% of them were completely innocent, and a couple of them died.
Because they were somewhere, they kind of looked sort of like terrorists, and so they get swept up in it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's absolutely because we kind of like the idea of seeing these men suffer.
Yeah. And you know me, a happy clappy Obama apologist that I am, but I agree with you that you say Obama is giving torturers amnesty by executive decree. Now every human rights violator, from, as you say, China to Iran, Russia to North Korea, has managed to collectively look down their autocratic noses at us and tisk at our torture report. The issue isn't going to get better no matter how many times Dick Cheney goes on Meet the Press. You say to obfuscate what is clearly state-sanctioned rape while in the custody of the U.S., and you say keep your promise, Mr. President, end torture and start prosecutions. I totally agree with you, and I keep coming from the point of view of, a Republican father that was a prosecutor at Nuremberg, As you said, we have always been a nation of laws. Now we're a nation of laws with an asterisk, as you write.
I think that was important. I mean, what came out of World War II, right? We had the Geneva Conventions that came out. The Geneva Conventions that came out of World War II. We kind of collectively, as a world, decided that this was never going to happen again. Japan decided to be pacifist and not get involved in any future wars. There were things that came out of World War II, and it was about holding the murderers and the war criminals accountable for what they did. It wasn't just kind of this perpetual war that is kind of still going on, maybe, but not really, and it kind of moving things from the American credit card to maybe actually looking at it as to how much we're spending. It wasn't like that. It was like there was a day where the war ended, and there was a day where the healing began, and we have not had that. Then we go and kind of indulge in this moral relativism where it's like things that we find to be completely egregious are suddenly made okay if we can justify it, if we can make up an excuse for as to why yes we enjoyed this, but also maybe we can retroactively make it useful.
So Hillary Clinton spoke out against torture yesterday. She said today we can and say again in a loud and clear voice the United States should never condone or practice torture anywhere in the world. I was glad, I don't know if you saw on TV yesterday, Tina, I'm glad there was old tape where they asked her the stupid ticking time bomb thing, and she still, in that tape said no. Because as John McCain said, it's not about them, it's about us. She said America is at our best when our actions match our values. She said she was proud to be part of the Obama administration, noting, that they ended torture with and here's the thing that we talked about this makes me crazy. There's an ABC News Washington Post poll, right, that shows that almost 6 in 10 Americans, that's almost 60%, Chris.
I've heard.
Believe that the torture is justified. About half of Americans believe the CIA did use torture, while 53% think the interrogations produced critical information that could have not have been obtained any other way. Because Republicans say that.
Because
so,
Republicans say
right.
that, and we all watched it on 24. And
Right.
Yeah.
we all have this fantasy of the ticking time bomb and the terrorist who's going to give up the information just in time for Jack Bauer to go and save the day. And yeah, so it's been kind of